Hello everyone, it's Jen from Caketastic Cakes. This little intro here is showing you that I'm going to be doing a textured buttercream boho themed cake with some gum paste roses. And if you see me use any tools or supplies you could use, if you check the link in the description below, it'll have a link to my website that'll be able to help you out. Alright, I'm going to start my cake by preparing it for stacking. So I've got my cake plate, put a little bit of icing below it. I put my first layer of cake on, put a nice layer of just some vanilla buttercream icing. Put my next layer on, do the same thing. You got to make sure it's lined up nice and straight, or as straight as you can, because that just saves you effort later. Another nice layer of buttercream icing on there. And then the top layer. So my cake is only, 3 layers tall. Alright, once I have my cake all stacked, I'm going to start with my crumb coating of icing now. So I'm just putting a nice thick layer on the outside. I did color it a little bit off-white. It's actually a little touch of ivory to it. So you can kind of see the difference in colors there between the tiers versus the crumb coat icing. But anyway, I put a nice thick layer on it. Now I'm going to stick it in the fridge and let it set up. Once it's set up for maybe about half an hour, I guess I'd say, maybe an hour because it's kind of thick, I'm going to bring it back out and do my second coating of icing on it. It's the same ivory color as before, so nothing different there. But now I'm just adding even more icing. And I know my crumb coat was a little on the thicker side, but it's icing. So can you have too much? I'd like to argue you cannot. All right, so I'm going to cover the entire cake again, clean it up, get it all nice and smooth again, and then once again, back in the fridge it goes. And while that's going to set up in the fridge again, I'm going to start mixing my icing colors. I had some gold shimmer just dust, some edible gold, and I mixed it in some icing because I was kind of curious to see what would happen. And all it did was kind of make a very pale beige mud, goldish mud color. It didn't, in my mind, I imagined just this pretty shimmery thing with sparkles through it, and not so much. It made like, yeah, beigey kind of mud. So anyway, I decided I'ma use it because, gold shimmer ain't cheap. So I took a paper towel and crinkled it up, and I'm dabbing it into my little bowl of icing. And then I was dabbing around the cake itself, and as you can see, it's very splotchy, very textured. This is, I guess, good, you want that kind of thing. But I didn't like how, I want to say it was like really thick and thin because, of course, a crumpled up paper towel is very uneven. So I switched over to my spatula here. And the spatula, I'm just, scooping a little bit onto the back of it and pity-patting all around the cake wherever I want. I didn't want it to be perfectly even or anything, so I'm just kind of going up and down, and I'm going thick and thin until I work my way around the whole darn cake, trying to keep in mind to pay attention to the bottom of the cake. Because I wasn't really going for an ombre style, but just kind of a gradual shading too, like a little darker at the bottom, work my way up. So that one I mixed was a little bit of a orange color, a peach color actually, and it just kind of came out orangey, I guess, on top of the ivory icing that I was already using. I mixed in some rose and a little bit of a light pink. So yes, those are my colors there. I mixed in some extra icing. And now I'm going to do the same darn thing as before. I cleaned off my spatula. I'm going to take little scoops of the icing, and I'm going to start with the lighter color and then work my way into the darkest, or the brightest I should say. And once again, I'm just going pity-pat all around my cake. See? All around my cake. All right, now I'm going to take my next color up, and I ended up not using the orange color because it just didn't really fit with the look I was going for. I liked the color, but I ended up not using it, so that's why I was kind of like, I mixed it. I wasted it, but I didn't use it. Now I've got my dark rose color all over the place, and I figured I'm going to give it little accents now by using some of my gold dust on a dry paintbrush. And I'm kind of outlining, all of my icing. I was kind of going around the top where it was the lightest, the beigiest, and just doing a little bit. I wasn't covering all of it. And then I'm like, ooh, I kind of like how this looks. So I started going over some of the pink area as well, and then I'm going to do the flowers. Now to start making the flowers, I'm going to begin with some gum paste. I'm rolling it out pretty darn thin here on my counter. And you could use fondant if you wanted to, but you'd have to mix some Tylose or CMC powder with it to make it, stiffen up and be able to handle the burden of being a delicate flower. So in order to make the rose, I've got a rose cutting kit. You can see it's got a 5-petaled cutter, and I'm taking a little bit extra gum paste that I have, and I made a teardrop shape, that little purple shape right there. And that's going to become the center of my rose. I'm going to cut out several of those little 5-petaled things, shapes there. And I'm going to take them one at a time and place them on my thin piece of sponge there, and using my ball tool, I'm going to roll along the edge of the flowers and really roll it and kind of press it into it, and that'll cause the petals edges to curl and wrinkle up a little bit and lift up and become a little more organic looking and less, stiff and fake looking. So I'm going to just go around each of the petals. You can see they get all kind of wrinkly. And now I'm going to take my little Hershey Kiss there, or my gumdrop, whatever, teardrop shape piece of gum paste. I'm going to paint one petal completely with water, just a little bit of water, but all the way, and then wrap it around that teardrop shape completely, so it's just a tight little cone. Then I'm going to do the petal opposite of it and wrap it around slightly looser, and do it again, a little bit looser, same thing, but these times I'm painting the water maybe halfway up from the base of the petal to the top, not all the way up. The first two went all the way up. Okay, so there's my little flower, my little rosebud. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the petals. Depending on how big of a rose you want to make, you could keep going and keep adding a few more layers there. If you do, this is the Wilton flower making kit, so if you have this one, there is a larger rose mold that you can use and keep the petals going even bigger and bigger. I was just going to keep them on the smaller side. So, again, I made some more of the petals, wrinkled them up, and this time when I'm applying them, I am applying them kind of, I don't know how to say it, between, like the outside petal will sit between the two inside petals where they meet. So you got the one inside petal there, and then the seam of the two outside petals kind of touch on it, and opposite of that, and that way your petals are more staggered and it's not a single row of petals shooting out from the center. It kind of spirals around a little bit more, gives it more of a proper rose look, and that proper rose look is what we're going after. So yes, now just make sure your petals, you can adjust them a little, put it aside, let it dry. Okay, this next one I'm going to show you is how I made a spider mum. I was looking for a fuller flower, so I wanted to try making one of these. This is just what I did. It has room to improve, but I was pretty happy with it. I start with a ball that I used some scissors, as you saw, and just kind of like roughed it all up in the center. And then I'm using the same Wilton flower kit to make, I think this is the daisy pattern. And I'm making a bunch of the smaller daisy size. You see I held up the one there, but I didn't have room. So I'm going to start with 3 of the smaller ones. So I'm going to put them onto my thin piece of foam, just like before with the rose. And this time I'm going to use my veining tool to press down in the center to create just a nice big, nice big divot in each petal to make it look a little bit more scooped, a little more petally. I did it for all 3, as you can see. In the first one, I flip over so the divots are on the outside or the bottom. So I'm going to have my little ball that I roughed up, and I'm going to wrap the petals up around it, and it's going to go up around it pretty darn nicely, I gotta say. And the whole idea of it flipping over is so that the grooves of the petals and everything will show, because otherwise they would be tucked away inside. You'd never even see them. These I'm going to leave the proper way, or what you'd imagine to be the proper way, and I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of water and keep folding the petals over that big clump in the center. So now it's more, I guess, of a budding spider mum. And if it feels like, they're too connected, you can flare out the tips of the petals a little bit. I've got a little flower cup there to hold it. I usually put a little scrap of paper towel in my cups because the gum paste and fondant really like to stick to that plastic. There's a little hole there for the, wire or whatever if you're using that. But I feel like it doesn't allow enough air and it stays really moist underneath. So I always stick a piece of paper towel under my flower. I was adding another layer, as you saw. I tipped it over and just held it in the center with my scissors so I didn't mess up any of the petals. And you can see it's already a very busy flower. There's a lot of petals going on. I'm now using the bigger mold for the same daisy, I think it is. I just made bigger vein marks, just like before, add some more water to it. And then again, just the same thing again. I'm going to hold it in the center, so if I make any marks, it'll be hidden away. And the petals are going to fold up around it as much as I want. And here is where I end up stopping. If you want to make it a fuller flower, if you want to keep going with it, just keep going with it. If you want finer petals, when you first initially make your little flower cuts, using the molds there, if you cut each petal into half, it would give you twice as many petals and they'd be thinner and finer. Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting it to sit in my cup. And I wanted to prop the flowers, but there it is. So I was happy with it. I thought it was actually rather pretty. This is now my attempt, and these are all just my attempts here, of making a few little white baby's breath type flowers. So I rolled out some white gum paste nice and thin again, cut some wiggly long strips. That doesn't really matter a whole lot, but I do need strips to start with. And I just roll it up on itself. I don't know, it was maybe 3 inches or so that I rolled up. And then I used my scissors and just snipped all over it to really rough up and really divide up that top, and then trimmed off the extra underneath. You see, I can kind of make it into a cone and then trim all that off and it'll sit nice and flat. These are a little bit bigger than a natural baby's breath. You could always make them smaller. You could stick them onto some floral wire, do that kind of thing, make a whole little bouquet. I just wanted some accent flowers, so I wasn't going to get too crazy or, in depth with it. And I also didn't add any green leaves. I had made some, but the colors just really took away from the overall feel of the cake. So now that my flowers have had a chance to dry, I let them set up for 24 hours. And I'm using a little bit of icing and placing them just on one edge of the cake, and not too many of them either. I ended up making some roses in the ivory color as well, like that one right there. But once you see a rose done, you can make it in any color. I didn't feel like overwhelming you guys with different color roses of the same thing. And I have a couple rose buds there, so if you stop, making the rose petals, the more layers and layers, then you just have a rose bud. You don't have roses. But once you have your flowers on, keep in mind how it's going to look from the back. That's why I added that little one on the back. And again, that's why I have my little baby's breath buds there, just to tuck them in like that. Anywhere it looks a little awkward around the edges, just tuck it in, and you've got a really cute, simple, textured boho themed cake. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe. It really does help me out as well. I've got a lot of other videos out there, so please take a look. And as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.